For the better part of a century, a notorious stretch of the Atlantic Ocean has been swallowing ships and planes. We're talking more than 50 ships and 20 aircraft claimed, and over 1,000 lives simply vanished. This is the story of the Bermuda Triangle. You probably have unheard of. Story pieced together not from tales of sea monsters or alien abductions, but from declassified military files and the quiet, sober explanations of science. Picture an invisible triangle stretching between Florida's sunny coast, the island of Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. You won't find it on any official map, yet it occupies a huge space in our collective imagination. Some call it the Devil's Triangle. And honestly, can you blame them? It's been the epicenter of some of the most bewildering disappearances we've ever seen. The legend is really cemented by two key events: the vanishing of the massive USS Cyclops and the loss of an entire squadron of Navy bombers known as Flight 19. These stories are often spun as supernatural head-scratchers, but the official reports point to something different. Something almost more unsettling. A mix of human error, the raw power of nature, and that desperate scramble for answers when there just aren't any to be found. It was March 1918, right in the thick of World War I. The USS Cyclops, a Navy collier ship bigger than a football field, sailed from Barbados with over 300 people and a belly full of 10,000 tons of manganese. It was headed for Baltimore, but it never made it. No SOS was ever sent. No wreckage was ever found. The Secretary of the Navy at the time, Josephus Daniels, put it plainly in his 1918 report: there has been no more baffling mystery in the annals of the Navy than the disappearance last March of the USS Cyclops. People's imaginations ran wild. Was it a German U-boat, a mutiny, a rogue wave that snapped the ship in half? German records later showed no U-boats were in the area. Modern analysis suggests the answer might lie in the cargo itself. Manganese ore is incredibly dense, way heavier than the coal the ship was built for, and by some accounts, it was overloaded. In a storm, if that unstable cargo shifted even slightly, the ship could have capsized almost instantly, giving no one a chance to even send out a distress call. Still, to this day, the official cause of its loss is listed as unknown. Fast forward 27 years to December 5th, 1945. This is the day the Triangle's legend was sealed forever. 5 U.S. Navy Avenger bombers, known as Flight 19, lifted off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. For what should have been a routine 2-hour training flight, they finished their bombing practice and headed north for the next leg of their trip. They were never heard from again. The radio transcripts from that day are chilling. The flight leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, a seasoned pilot, reported that both of his compasses were on the fritz. He somehow became convinced he was over the Florida Keys, when he was likely hundreds of miles off course. Probably right over the Bahamas where he was supposed to be. His last staticky words were that they were low on fuel and would have to ditch in the ocean. In a final heartbreaking twist, a PBM Mariner rescue plane with 13 crew members, sent to find them, also vanished, likely exploding in midair. All told, 27 men were lost that day. Now, this is where the official story gets interesting. The Navy's first report on Flight 19, a massive 500-page document, blamed the whole thing on pilot error, pinning it all on Lieutenant Taylor. His family, however, refused to accept that. They argued the Navy couldn't scapegoat a pilot when they had no planes, no bodies, no evidence at all. Eventually, the Navy caved and amended the report, changing the cause from pilot error to a much simpler and much more haunting phrase: cause unknown. So, the hidden history here isn't about time warps or UFOs. It's about the uncomfortable reality that sometimes things just go wrong. The U.S. Coast Guard has stated that disappearances are no more frequent in the Bermuda Triangle than in any other heavily trafficked, stormy part of the ocean. Many incidents can be chalked up to a nasty combination of wild, unpredictable weather and good old-fashioned human error. The area is known for monster rogue waves and the powerful currents of the Gulf Stream, which can swallow up any trace of a wreck in a matter of hours. Sometimes the most grounded, scientific explanations for the world's mysteries are just as fascinating as the myths. If you enjoy digging into these hidden histories, Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle doesn't stick around because of a lack of answers, but because we're fascinated by the unknown. We try to find patterns in the chaos, to come up with supernatural stories to protect us from a simple, terrifying truth. Sometimes nature just wins. The real hidden history of the Devil's Triangle is a powerful reminder of the unforgiving sea and a quiet memorial to the more than 1,000 souls lost in its depths.